Well, the White House is out with a new policy on gender pronouns. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says reporters who have pronouns like she, her, he, him, and they, them in their email signatures won't be getting a response from the White House because she explained, as a matter of policy, any reporter who chooses to put their preferred pronouns in their bio clearly doesn't care about biological reality or truth, and therefore cannot be trusted to write an honest story.
Donald Trump's illegal deportation of Abrego Garcia is disgusting. The lies that he is using to attack this man and try to create a false justification for his actions against him are disgusting. And his refusal to take accountability for what he has done is disgusting. And we saw all of that play out today in Caroline Leavitt's White House press briefing, in which she attacked the man. She lied about the man and refused to take accountability, running away from reporters who were trying to ask questions about what the administration is doing. It was completely disgraceful. We are going to get into it all. It is shocking what this administration is doing. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, and the work we're doing to call out the Donald Trump White House to hit that subscribe button, it goes a long way. And it really does mean a lot to me. Now, Caroline Leavitt knows she is bad at her job, so she had to open her press conference reading a statement, which she did right here.
The Democrats and the media in this room have continually and wrongly labeled Kilmar Abrego Garcia as a Maryland father. There is no Maryland father. Let me reiterate. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is an illegal alien, MS-13 gang member and foreign terrorist who was deported back to his home country. And when Kilmar Abrego Garcia was originally arrested, he was wearing a sweatshirt with rolls of money covering the ears, mouth, and eyes of presidents on various currency denominations. This is a known MS-13 gang symbol of hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. Abrego Garcia was also arrested with two other well-known members of the vicious MS-13 gang. And two separate judges found that Abrego Garcia was a member of MS-13, and that finding has never been disputed. And just this morning,
that is just a plain and blatant lie. There is no evidence to support the claims that the White House is making about Abrego Garcia, and they know it because in their own statements and documents they have released about this Maryland father, this member of his community, they have stated they have no justification, they have no evidence, they are just blatantly lying to cover up the crime that they have committed. And it's not only that they're lying about the crime, they're lying about the court's response. Listen to what Caroline Leavitt had to say about the Supreme Court and their 90 decision against the Trump administration.
Nothing will change the fact that Abrego Garcia will never be a Maryland father. He will never live in the United States of America again. And the United States Supreme Court ruled unanimously that the President of the United States and the Secretary of State could not be compelled to forcibly retrieve this citizen of El Salvador who is currently locked up in a maximum security prison in his home country due to his MS-13 membership.
We are in a constitutional crisis, not just because the Supreme Court ruled against the Trump administration and Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Caroline Leavitt, Stephen Miller are choosing to ignore that ruling, but they're actively twisting it. We first saw Stephen Miller come out with this defense saying the Supreme Court has sided with us. They are affirming Donald Trump. They are affirming this deportation when in fact it was the opposite. They were ruling against it. They have said they must bring this father, this husband, this member of the community, this lawful permanent resident back home. They made that abundantly clear. Lower courts are asking for daily updates on his return. The Supreme Court said they had to facilitate and effectuate the return. They have done neither. And you wonder why. Well, Senator Von Holland made it incredibly clear why in this clip right here.
This is an unsustainable and unjust moment, so it cannot continue this way. I also told his wife and family that I would try to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia while I was here. So I asked the vice president if I could meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia. And he said, well, you need to make earlier provisions to go visit CCOT. I said, I'm not interested at this moment in taking a tour of CCOT. I just want to meet with Mr. Abrego Garcia. In fact, the Trump administration lawyer, the government lawyer, admitted to the court that Mr. Abrego Garcia had been mistakenly taken in administrative error, that it was a mistake.
They are paying the government of El Salvador to keep him there. They are taking it that far to push forward their crime. Disgusting. This is a blatant effort. They know what they are doing. And it is why they refuse to take accountability. And we saw that as Carolyn Leavitt ran away when reporters were still trying to ask her questions.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Patty or for me? No?
I have a question.
No. Anybody? Okay. We'll see you all later. The president will be at his dinner later this evening. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Ms. Moore.
Carolyn Leavitt is bad at her job. She had to read a 5-minute statement, which I couldn't listen to all the lies of that 5-minute statement, and I wasn't going to put you through it either, but started her briefing with a 5-minute statement. She brought a guest to fill time, and then because she knew she couldn't defend the indefensible, or maybe she could try, she's more than happy to lie. She's bad at it. She just left. You heard the reporter. I have a question. Karen Levin's response gotta dip. She cannot face being confronted with the truth, with the reality of the situation, because she just continues to lie. And the lies are really easy to call out because the administration she works for has stated clearly that she's lying. And so is the president. This came out in the first set of documents that we saw released, that they know he's not an MS-13 gang member. This is absurd. And AOC called out the depravity of the situation right here.
Just yesterday, I saw on television, on Fox News, you had this woman, Jeanine Pirro. Crazy thing about Jeanine Pirro is that she's from Westchester County, where I went to public school, and it's like, wow, how things have evolved there. Anyways, so Jeanine Pirro goes on television. She says, as though this is fraud, she says that they found so many babies and 2-year-olds and 4-year-olds who were receiving Social Security. I've got a notice for you, Jeanine Pirro. Those babies get Social Security because their parents died. That's not a waste. That's humanity. That's America. That's the country that we fight for. Those are the promises we make to one another. That is what it means to be in a civilized society. It's not waste. It is the best of us.
If you have been keeping up with my coverage of what is happening, you know I continue to return to the line that the AOC says that Donald Trump's deportation plan is not popular. We just have not worked hard enough to make it unpopular. That is true, but in a sense, and I'm going against my own words here. Now, it's also not true because Donald Trump's deportation plan, even without us saying anything, has become unpopular. You know? A couple of weeks ago, that wouldn't have been the case. It was popular back then. Now, the constant stream of crimes have made it incredibly unpopular. So any Democrat who was, kind of a little scared, maybe a little queasy about speaking out, which, first of all, these are human rights. It is your job to speak out. Go for it. Go for the kill. It is incredibly unpopular. Seize on this moment. AOC is, and she knows, and is speaking to the effect of the agency that we have in organizing this message. Republicans are afraid AOC talked about that right here.
Just coming in here today and flying in, we got some very interesting news. Senator Sanders and I got some very interesting news. Here, Montana and Missoula, this is our last stop of the week after crisscrossing the entire country. We had 12,000 people in Idaho. One of the most Republican states in the entire country. We had 20,000 people in Salt Lake City, Utah. We started off off with 36,000 people in Los Angeles. But last night, further north in California, in Folsom, which is also represented by Republicans, we had 30,000 people show up. Prior to that, we had visited Colorado, we had visited Nevada, we visited Arizona. And on the way here, we got a very interesting piece of news, which is that some of those Republican House members that we had visited, they just led a letter warning the Republican leadership, saying, we don't know if we can vote for Medicaid cuts now. That's you, Missoula. That's you, Montana. That's you, Colorado. That's you, Arizona. That's you, California. That's you, the people. We got them on their back foot. We got them scared. We got them running. But our job is not done. And we will rally every corner of the United States of America until we save Medicaid and Medicare for every American, until we defend Social Security, and we tell them who's really in charge in this country. So we are here for the long haul, and we will not stop until they actually vote no. We're not going to let them trick us with gestures and strongly worded letters. I want to see the no vote on the floor. That's the only thing we will accept.
They're switching up. They know how unpopular their agenda is. They know they see it every day. They hear it in their town halls. It is incumbent upon us to use our agency to push back and encourage the elected officials who should be doing it anyways. They should be following the AOC, the Jasmine Crockett, the Bernie Sanders, the Chris Murphy model and doing the work. But it is incumbent upon us to make sure to demand that they do, because it works, and we're going to keep doing it on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.